Grace be unto you and peace from God our Father and from the Lord Jesus Christ. I was glad when they said to me, let us go into the house of the Lord. I'm Father Steve Sellers, and thank you for tuning in today for this brief daily message of hope. I was thinking this morning about all the different times I've been a chaplain at schools and when I've had parishes that had schools in them. And one of the things I love doing over about 4 decades, it seems like, from the 80s until recently, I would love walking around at lunch as the students were eating, and I'd go from table to table, and over time I started asking the same question. And basically I got the same answer most of the time. I would notice what the students were eating, and I would walk to a table and I said, what type of sandwich is that? Or, what that thing you're taking bites out of, what type of sandwich is that? And I've got to tell you, doing that from 1986 up until just a couple of years ago, there was one answer that was by far the most popular answer. What's your favorite sandwich? What is that sandwich you're eating? Well, believe it or not, it wasn't peanut butter and jelly. That wasn't the most popular answer. Ham and cheese? Nope. Chicken salad? Nope. Tuna salad? No. Those weren't even close to the most popular answer I got. When I would ask, what type of sandwich is that? Most of the students would answer, I don't know. What's that sandwich you're putting in your mouth? I don't know. What type of sandwich is that? I don't know. You know, the truth is, if I were to ask you, what's your favorite sandwich? You know, you may have one that you would come up with, but for the most part, we don't think much about what we think about. You know, the psychological term is metacognition. We don't pay attention to what we're thinking about. So if I were to ask you, what do you spend most of your time thinking about? The most popular answer would be, I don't know. The truth is, we don't have a clue what we spend most of the time thinking about. And that's sad because we gravitate in our thoughts to the things that are of most importance to us. And if we don't pay attention to them, we sort of bounce around like we've got a massive case of attention deficit disorder. Our thoughts ping from one thing to the next. And unfortunately, they ping very often to negative self-talk. We beat ourselves up in our thoughts. And we forget that we're precious children of God, and He loves us. He created us in His own image. We shouldn't be thinking negative self-talk. We should not be bashing ourselves and our brains. We need to realize that we're precious and unique. You know, I was reading in the gospel lesson today from Matthew chapter 14, when Jesus had landed ashore on the Sea of Galilee after He had walked on the water to rescue His apostles from a storm. People from all over brought sick people to Jesus. They brought hordes of people so that they might even be able to touch just the hem of His garment. It was so important to them to be able to make contact with Jesus. There's a wonderful story in the Gospels about the woman in Capernaum who had had a flow of blood for 12 years. And all the doctors she went to, she kept getting worse. And in a huge crowd of people, she came on her knees just to touch the hem of Jesus' garment, just the tassel of his robe. And when she did, she was healed. The most important thing to her was to make contact with Jesus. So I want to just offer a word of hope today. God has got you on His mind today. He's thinking about you. He loves you. He sent His Son Jesus to be with you today. So you're not alone in any of this. So if you find your mind wandering, remember who it is who's thinking about you. The one who loves you unconditionally, who's with you and cares for you. You know, when your mind wanders, as our minds often do, don't beat yourself up. Give thanks to the Lord for being there with you. And you know, try talking to Him also. He has more advice for us and more words of hope, more joy and love and compassion than we even know about. So trust in Him, turn to Him, And don't answer the question about what you're thinking about. I don't know. Yes, you do. Remember that the Lord is thinking about you. I hope you have a blessed day today, and God willing, I will see you here again tomorrow.